Today on the Star Trek Critic, Jonathan Frakes' first directing job, The Offspring. As usual, the finished product is graded like a school project, starting with 100 points, taking away 1 point for each error. I do have to point out that Jonathan Frakes copied many of his favorite shows. Check this out. One thing you'll notice, this episode does use a lot of hallways. If you're new to this channel, I do use screenshots a lot to prevent copyright claim. Wesley says the door is always locked, but here, Data left it unlocked, so minus 1 point. Data would not forget. And now, for the second movie he copied. Data has created an android Offspring.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Wesley's like, what's up with it calling you father? Data admits to being the baby daddy. Another point lost for our captain's log talking down to the audience like we forgot everything between the opening credits and the commercials. Somebody at the conference must have seen Data walking around with a brain. Data is successful at creating a Soong-type android. However, he should have told someone, and Picard is wrong for freaking out the way he did. The whole purpose of Data keeping it a secret is so he can say this funny line, so minus 1 point for the plot device. It turns out Data is a woke liberal letting his child choose its own gender. Now for another walk through a very crowded hallway. Look close. This extra has the Kindle and took a secret photo of his favorite Star Trek stars as he walked by. How much you want to bet the reason Picard is pissed is because he doesn't have any kids and then an android created one on his own. Deanna mansplains to Picard that a child is a child, and she really hits him below the belt this time. Obviously, her director boyfriend is using this opportunity to take a jab at his boss. Data is sent to the principal's office. Did you notice Livingston the fish isn't there? Picard is only worried about what will happen to him. The new director has decided to show Jean-Luc as the egotistical bastard that he really is. Jean-Luc now admits he is the last of his kind. And the phrase, spare the rod and spoil a child, is not a punitive approach. It's opposite, so minus 1 point. Data would know that. This is a very long and thoughtful conversation. Although I think Picard didn't get his point across as well as he could. But Data wants to be a dad. Aww. The extras in this scene turn around and say, what the heck is that? Lal says gender neuter is inadequate. Deanna shows off her figure. Yes! Jonathan Frakes must have loved Harry Potter hallway scenes. And don't tell me this show came out first. They are in the future. It turns out Lal likes Deanna too. Data is a very thorough father. 1 point lost here. Deanna would have taken a nap in her quarters and come back. That was just a cheap cleavage shot. With the holodeck this sophisticated, the crew could come in here and be all sorts of characters, but they never really do that. Data gives birth to a girl. In reality, she would have been facing them, but all three are facing the audience intentionally, so minus 1 point. Look closely, Lal blinks. Data shows Lal how to sit in a chair. Now he shows off his favorite painting that he stole off the Partridge Family bus. In reality, she would already know these terms, but Data programmed her to have his power of stating the obvious. Data sits like an android so he doesn't have to perform the Picard maneuver. Shout out to Hallie Togg trying as hard as she can not to blink. I always got the impression Data was sending his logs to Commander Maddox at the Daystrom Institute. Data shows her it's perfectly fine to drink out of the same glass. That's icky. Here we go again, director Jonathan Frakes copying from another one of his favorite movies. Data discovers what it's like to be a parent. Data may not have human emotions, but he is programmed to smile in awkward moments. Data teaches Lal to blink. Did she not know how to blink before, or is this just a blinking pattern? We will never know. She also blinks while she's in her standby mode. Wesley recommends sending her to school so she won't grow up to be an awkward genius like him. Data says, my kids are not your business, go get a haircut. Lal wants to know why androids have belly buttons. Lal has learned the word why. Data says, screw this, you're going to school. However, he gets to turn her off. The other parents don't get to do that with their kids. Jonathan Frakes now copies his favorite country bear. So much plagiarism. Picard offers to send both Data and Lal to the Daystrom Institute in the pursuit of science. But Admiral Hoftel wants the robot girl all for himself like the creepy old man that he is. Picard says, go get a blow-up doll like all the other creepy old men. Over in the school, the teacher says the children are afraid of Lal, but I got the impression it's the other way around. And 1 point lost for just leaving Lal there and not getting her out of that situation. Then Lal says, hey, the narrator is right. This is a fake turbo lift. Data realizes he needs some help. Data seeks advice on how to be a parent from a parent. Proof all those books he read by the experts can be no help at all. Data sits like an android, that's why he hardly ever does the Picard maneuver. Shout out to Beverly Crusher for giving excellent advice. Data talks about his experience with the Borg. Data says he can't love his own daughter, but Beverly knows that is far from the truth. This scene is sexist because they never show the women like this. Now Jonathan Frakes copies from his favorite Star Trek movie, which won't be out for 2 more years. And you can see how happy he is to be waking up in the middle of the night. So another ship can take Admiral Hoftel there is a big waste of taxpayer money. The Enterprise is way out in space. It could take weeks for him to get there, and it messes up whatever mission they're on. What they should have done was just gone to the Daystrom Institute once their current mission was completed. And he totally has no right to take Lyle, he knows that. 1 point lost for the captain's log, talking down to the audience like we forgot everything during the commercials. Instead of following an extra, the camera follows Guinan until Data and Lal come in. Either Lal is very curious about her new surroundings, or she's already drunk. Data wants to get his kid out of the house, so gets her a job as a bartender. Lal has excellent social skills. You can see in Guinan's eyes that they're going to get along just fine. Lal uses a contraction. Have you ever wondered, why doesn't Data just program himself to use contractions? He should be able to do it. Data gets called into the principal's office one more time. Data goes and Guinan says, Lal, let's get plastered. Back in the principal's office, Data wants to know, why is the fish tank empty? Captain Picard warns Data that the Admiral wants to steal his daughter. 1 point is lost for not getting the ship's legal team involved. Seriously, they can make an entire series of the legal nightmares the bridge crew cause every week. Data also thinks both of them going is not such a bad idea. Minus 1 point here, shuttlecrafts can't travel as far as the producers want you to believe. This episode has suddenly turned into one about the government taking people's children away from them for experiments and research. Picard thinks Data is the left fielder.
The left fielder's name. Why? I just thought I'd ask you.
Over in 10 Forward, this extra is trying to be recognized at the soda fountain just like Lana Turner. Are the 3 guys looking at the girl, or the couple getting ready to make out? Guinan teaches Lal about the birds and the bees. They start with the hands and go from there. And in the 23rd century, love bites are acceptable. Lal has all this information already downloaded, but her problem is she doesn't know when or how to access it at the right time. Shout out to Guinan saying the parents decide when their kids are taught about the birds and the bees and not the state. Jonathan Frakes is an excellent director. However, he forgot to give himself 5 lines of dialogue to prevent snarky critics later from taking a point. In case you're wondering, to prevent copyright claims, I don't show a full picture video. Look closely. Riker's hands are on one side of the bar, and now they are on the other. So in less than a minute, the director cost himself 2 points. And these guys are gonna go tell the whole crew what just happened to the first officer. Data confronts Riker with his shotgun. Riker performs the Picard maneuver and runs out. How did the director not know what was happening on the set? Poor Lal is having an awkward teenage moment. Lal has an interesting question. If androids don't have emotions, why bother trying to have them? In reality, Soong-type androids do have their own version of emotions. They just aren't what the humans do. Alright, so just how much of our taxpayer money was wasted having these 2 ships, which are supposed to be for exploration and our defense, to just sit out there in space so Admiral Hoftel can steal his own personal robot girl? Of course, Starfleet's answer is, it's the 24th century, we don't use money anymore. Which means in the 24th century, the 8 billion people on Earth are all broke, and the government still spends their tax money to goof around out in space. Here's where Picard screwed up. His legal team should have come in and told the Admiral he can't take someone's kid away. Picard tells the Admiral androids are treated as humans. Didn't you watch the show last year? Admiral Hoftel performs the Picard maneuver. Admiral Hoftel is just being a jerk since both Picard and Data think it's a great idea if Data and Lal go to the Daystrom Institute together. Why does he consider Lal using contractions an aberration? That's an improvement. Data tells off the Admiral.
Yes!
It is green.
It is green. As usual in 10-4, the camera follows someone until it stops on the characters coming through the door. Admiral Hoftel complains about her working as a cocktail waitress. However, carrying drinks around and taking orders are perfect for her getting used to human movements. I believe this is the only time you get an overhead shot of the conference room. Then Lal calls the Admiral the left fielder. Now Lal tells off Admiral Hoftel.
Yes!
Picard puts her on the spot and Lal makes a personal choice, so the programming meltdown that happens next is all his fault. Poor Lal is having an emotional and mechanical breakdown at the same time. Lal calls Deanna the third baseman. Data wants to ask the left fielder. This is his best reasoning for having both of them go to Galilor 4, but his obsession of splitting them up is causing the problem. Admiral Hoftel acknowledges his own existence. Then he tells an android, You should pretend you agree with me. Did you ever notice the Star Trek actors sit in a specific way so they never actually move the chairs with their hands? Director Jonathan Frakes got this idea from his favorite Bruce Willis movie. Shout out to Data giving this wonderful speech. He sets a great example to all fathers out there, that it is the parent's responsibility to raise a child and not the state. That is a Marxist ideology. Is Data acknowledging his existence, or is he quoting Darth Vader? Either Admiral Hofstede believes they live in a Marxist society, or he just wants that robot girl as his own personal toy. Picard says androids are not property. Now comes the pissing match. This would be a good time to call in the ship's legal counsel, which they did not, so -1 point. Admiral Hofstede thinks he's Dr. Fauci. If you question him, you're questioning science. Picard thinks this is a great time to make a long-winded speech to boost his own ego. However, the director can't stand listening to him all day, so has his girlfriend break in and cut him off. Director Jonathan Frakes got this set design from his favorite Next Gen episode. Data says Lal has to be completely rewired. Admiral Hofstede wants to help. The director got this idea from his favorite Disney movie. The three kids wait for Hagrid to come out with a verdict. Geordi has less than 5 lines, so -1 more point. Admiral Hofstede has been taken down a notch and blown away at Data's determination to save Lal. In reality, he was describing a scene from Jonathan Frakes' favorite original series episode. Lal says, "I love you." Data says, "I know." This is a very sad and well choreographed scene of a father saying goodbye to his dying daughter. 1 point lost for a single set of doors on the turbolift. The death of a child is one of the most grueling events parents can go through, and Star Trek tackled it perfectly. Even for a man who has no emotions, the crew knows he has been affected by it, and was able to keep a part of her with him. And it was clear that Data was troubled by the loss, since he never tried again. Judy Ann Elder has 65 screen credits, including Wonder Woman, V, and Family Matters. She also has many stage credits. Nicholas Coster is a certified scuba diver and just left us with 175 screen credits, including Buck Rogers, Another World, and Santa Barbara. And Hallie Todd has 40 screen credits, including Lizzie McGuire, Brothers, and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The Offspring, which covers an android's desire to procreate, parental rights, and the loss of a child, gets a score of 85. Thanks for viewing. Be sure to leave comments below, click that like button, the share button, the subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.